Hi, welcome to the 30-Day Study Skills Challenge presented by East Central College Learning Center. My name is Allison Tucker. Today we're going to look at good skills and bad skills, and I'm going to challenge you to pick something to change to make better for this upcoming semester. As you look at these next images and cartoons, think about what you know about bad study habits. You're not taking notes. I record the lectures, then use voice recognition software on my computer to transcribe when I get home. That way I'm free to take in the lecture without note-taking to distract me. Shh. How not to study. Memorize everything 20 minutes before the exam. Run to school before you forget everything. Preparation before exams. 10 days left, 10 chapters left. We'll prepare 1 chapter per day. 5 days left, 10 chapters left. We'll prepare 2 chapters per day. 2 days left, 10 chapters left. 5 chapters per day. 10 hours left, 10 chapters left. 1 hour for each chapter. Pause the video while you write down your ideas of what the students did wrong. Some possible answers are that the students were distracted, disorganized, procrastinated, had no plan, and took shortcuts. We looked at some bad study habits. Now think about what do you know are some good study habits. When should you be studying? Where should you be studying? What should you be studying? How should you be doing that? Think about what you know you should be doing, whether you're doing it or not, and jot down a few notes. Let's see how your answers match up to what are known to be good study habits. When and what should you be studying? Before class, make sure to skim the section that the instructor will be covering that day. Know key definitions so you know what the instructor is talking about. You could even write them down to use a framework for your notes. During class, make sure to pay attention and actively take notes. Don't just rely on the PowerPoints that the instructor may have given you beforehand. Make sure at the end of the day you know what will be due next class period or what will be covered next class period. Immediately after class, or as soon as possible, make sure to rewrite those notes. The notes you took in class did not need to be neat. They could use abbreviations. So when you rewrite them, take the opportunity to fill in any blanks, to make them more clear. Rewrite them so that everybody can understand what you're talking about if somebody else needed to borrow your notes. As you're rewriting your notes, if you have any questions, make sure to write them down or go ask your instructor or a tutor. Later, you want to make sure to complete any homework. Do problems multiple times or write about the material multiple times. The more often that you review the material and actively do something with it, the more it's going to be in your long-term memory. Before a test, take a practice test or write a practice essay. Do extra problems. Make sure to go over any review guide that the instructor might have given to you. This comic emphasizes a key point. Study is not passive. If you're reading, you need to read actively, slowly with the aim of understanding. You need to do something with that material. Highlight key points, make notes in text or in a notebook. Read it before and after lecture. Then you have to do something with that material. Rereading is not enough to get you that higher grade you would like. Where should you be studying? Ideally, you're going to be able to set a dedicated space at home where you have minimal distractions, it's neat, it's tidy, organized, or a library, learning center, somewhere distraction-free without any notifications on your phone or TV. Real life might prevent you from doing that. Sometimes you might have to open up your biology book in the bathroom and study during bath time. Make use of all your time. If you're taking a full load and you're working, have a family, you might have to make use of the moments you're waiting in line. You could look at your ebook, flashcards, study app, recitation in your head. Keep in mind, multitasking does make it harder to keep that information in long-term memory. How much time should you set aside to study? Keep in mind, a full-time student, so a student who's carrying 15 credit hours during a semester, that's basically a full-time job. You should be expecting to spend 40 hours a week on your schoolwork. That means if you are working full-time, don't expect to be able to carry a full load. You need to keep your expectations realistic. Studies have shown that the more that you spend studying, the higher your grade is. So if you can set aside an hour to an hour and a half a day per class, you should have enough study time that you can even take a day off later in the week. To help you decide what you're going to try differently this semester, let's look at 10 statements about studying. Think about how often you do these things. Take out a piece of paper, number it 1 through 10, and let's take a look at some of these statements. For each statement, write down a number. 5 for you do this all the time, 4 most of the time, 3 half the time, 2 sometimes, and 1 for never. The first statement is, I set a positive mood for my studies and schedule a productive time to study, find a less distracting space. I vary my study activities to include not just reading but also group discussions and hands-on work. I organize and centralize notes assignments both in a notebook and in a folder on my computer. Each week I dedicate a short time to review my notes and assignments and then evaluate my progress. Before each class or study session, I review the assignment and my notes. Keep in mind your range from the last slide. 6. After each class lecture, as quickly as possible, I review and organize my notes. After studying a unit, I transfer what I have learned into my own words and examples. I mark what I do not understand and seek alternatives from instructors, tutors, websites, textbooks to help. I separate out vocabulary and concepts that are new to me, define them on note cards, and talk about them in study groups. I reward myself for assignments well done. Choose something from those list of 10 items, study statements, or something else that you know that you need to start doing to study. Make it something that's perfectly attainable and commit to trying it for 30 days. Studies show that it takes at least 30 days to make something a habit. You can download this calendar and use it to keep track of your challenge. Or you can make it your own. Just make sure that you're not using the creation of your habit calendar to procrastinate studying. Here are some additional resources. Good luck. Try something new.